All right, it's 7 o'clock. We'll call this meeting of August 17th, 2020 City Council meeting to order. And I guess our first thing would be to do the invocation. And I see the bishop back there ready to go. Come on up, sir. If you would, please stand.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Shall we bow our heads? Father, we thank you for this opportunity that we are coming together again. These men and women who have come to make decisions on our behalf as a city. Father, bless them, bless this community. Bless us in our going and our coming. Father, protect us in the days to come. Help us to make the right choices as a people, as a community, and as a city. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Bishop. Thank you, sir. We do a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, please be seated. Roll call.
Mayor Allen.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Broadway.
Here.
Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Cohen.
Present.
Councilmember Matthews.
Present.
Councilmember Ham.
Here.
Councilmember Aycock.
Here. Mr. Gus, see if you can find you a chair right back there somewhere. All right, so we're all here. Next, we got the approval of the minutes from, Lord, I have to move on. The approval of minutes from the work session of 6/9/20, 6/15/20, and 6/17/20.
Move to adopt. So approved.
Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, the minutes pass. All right, next we got presentations. And this is a very special presentation for this very special gentleman, Mr. Tullis. Now, y'all, Mr. Tullis is our Division 4 board representative, and he's actually retiring. And he's always been known as the best dressed board member. And you can see tonight how good he looks and how dressed he is. But Mr. Tullis has served the NC State Board of Transportation since 2008 and has skillfully served under 4 different administrations, which is pretty important. Mr. Tullis has been representing transportation in Division 4, which includes Wayne, Edgecombe, Nash, Wilson, Halifax, and Johnson counties, for 12 years. He was influential in Division 4 administration of 428 construction projects with bid amounts totaling $1.35 billion and $540 million in maintenance expenditures during his tenure. He chaired numerous board committees through the years, and noteworthy experience on the board's Road and Bridge Ferry Naming Committee, which collaborated with local communities and local governments to establish honorary designations on state-owned roads and bridges in tribute of citizens whose character and contributions to the area are or were remarkably significant. Mr. Tullis advocated for a number of projects along the Highway 70 Future 42 corridor that connects Raleigh to Morehead Center. He was instrumental in the creation of the Goldsboro bypass, a 21-mile stretch of freeway bypassing Highway 70 through Goldsboro. This bypass will eventually become part of Interstate 42. It was one of the first major projects completed to bring Highway 70 up to interstate standards. Therefore, I, Chuck Allen, Mayor of Goldsboro, do hereby proclaim August 17, 2020 as Gus Tullis Day in Goldsboro, North Carolina, and I have set here on my hand an official seal, City of Goldsboro, this the 17th day of August 2020. All right, you got the... Mr. Gus, you know, with COVID, we're not supposed to get close, but I need to get a picture of it. See if we can,
Sure.
come right here, Mr. Gus. I'd like to.
He could pull his mask down if he wanted to.
Would you like to say anything? Yeah, I felt like you probably would. I've never seen you. You're going to come here right there to
Well, this is a real honor, and I appreciate it, and this is a real thrill. Chuck, the mayor, asked if I'd like to say anything, and I sure would. After 12 years, if you can't say something, then something's wrong with you. But let me start off by, and I won't be long, but when I came here in 2008, I've been on the board of transportation 12 years, as the mayor indicated to you. And I've been in Goldsboro probably about 300 times since then. We have a meeting once a month, the MPO, and then we have a maintenance yard over here, a district yard, and so I've been coming over there, you know, obviously at least once a month. So, but even before that, back in high school, I'm from Rocky Mount, and Goldsboro and Rocky Mount were staunch rivals. We didn't dislike each other, it was just pure hate. And to come over here to Goldsboro and get whipped half the time was, I'll never forget it. I played football and basketball, and it was tough every time we ever came here. And I hope it was tough every time Goldsboro ever came to Rocky Mount. But my first meeting as a DOT was when I came to Goldsboro. My first thought was, is Goldsboro still as tough and determined as they were way back when? And it certainly didn't take long to realize that Goldsboro was still as tough as they ever were. Mayor King was your mayor then, and of course your current mayor was your mayor pro tem. So we hit the ground running, and so many things have transpired since then, like the Goldsboro bypass. When we had the governor, McCrory came and dedicated the Goldsboro bypass, as well as he dedicated the I-42, the 87 designation. I remember Secretary of Transportation Jim Trogdon came here, and one of about the second or third meeting that we had, all the way from Smithfield to Moorhead, all the little towns that were together were not together. And they were asking the secretary, said, what can we do to get this Highway 70 built and get some progress going on it? He said, well, I'll tell you, and they said, can you help us? Would DOT help us? And he said, I'll tell you one thing, until y'all get your act together as a group and have one agenda, and that's to get this highway completed, the DOT is not going to be there to hold your hand. You've got to get yourselves together. And then that's when they hired Mayor Durward Stevenson from Smithfield, who's a dynamite himself. And from then on, it just shows what can happen if a group gets their act together and if they work together. And it is absolutely amazing what has happened with the Highway 70 corridor. So I really, really commend you for that. And I commend Goldsboro for taking the lead on it. The MPO group that the mayor heads up is as strong as any of the groups of the 6 counties that I have the good fortune, or had the good fortune, of representing. But we've done a lot of things here. Again, the Highway 70 bypass, the I-795 designation that now is going from here all the way to Wilmington is going to be an incredible thing. The major Goldsboro projects that we've completed, just like the Berkeley Boulevard widening from Royal Avenue to New Hope Road, recently completed. The William Street widening from US 70 to US 70 bypass, that's underway. You've got about, and in fact, I had folks today do a little numbers for me, and you mentioned the whole district, the $2 billion we've done. Over the last 12 years, we've contracted here in Goldsboro and Wayne County over $380 million in projects in Wake County, including the resurfacing, bridge replacement, etc. Right now, you've got the STIP projects, the State Transportation Improvement Projects for Wayne County over the next 10 years. And even though the budget has been cut and things are slow, these projects are in the picture, Mayor, and they are going to happen. But you got Central Heights at Beverly Boulevard realignment. You're going to have the Wayne Memorial Drive from New Hope Road to US 70 bypass, 4 lane. You're going to have the Berkeley Boulevard from New Hope Road to 70 bypass, 4 lane. Ash Street from Berkeley Boulevard to US 70. So what I'm saying is Goldsboro is one of the greatest towns I've ever worked in. And you've got so many things going, but you've got so many things coming up. And my replacement, I know the gentleman very well, a fellow named Melvin Mitchell. He's a great guy, and he will step right in, and I guarantee you you'll have the same service and support that I've been fortunate enough to be involved with. But I've enjoyed it. It's been a great 12 years. As the mayor mentioned, I've served with 4 governors, and each one has their own, personality, and they've had their own interest in transportation. But they've been good to this state and to the DOT. And I commend the mayor, and I commend Goldsboro and Wayne County, and thank you for the opportunity to serve with you. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gus. Thanks for all you did.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. This is a real honor and a thrill, and I appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
Take care.
You too.
All right,
Thank you so much.
sure. Is he here, Joe here? Okay, yeah, we are. Good. All right.
Do I have a flag?
No, if you do those, I don't think we usually do that. Is Joe out there? Come on in, Mr. Joe. Bill's gonna read your proclamation or resolution, and then he'll present it to you.
Resolution number 2020-50, resolution expressing appreciation for services rendered by Joseph Silva as employee of the city of Goldsboro for more than 13 years. Whereas Joseph Silva retired on September 1st, 2020, as a police officer with the Goldsboro Police Department, the city of Goldsboro for more than 13 years of service. Where Joseph began his career on February 2007 as a police officer with the Goldsboro Police Department, where he served until his retirement. Whereas Joseph has proven himself to be a dedicated and efficient public service and gained the admiration and respect of his fellow workers and citizens of the city of Goldsboro. Whereas the mayor and city council of the city of Goldsboro desires to have myself, city employees, and the citizens of the city of Goldsboro expressing for Joseph's their deep appreciation and gratitude for the service rendered by him to the city. Therefore, be it resolved by the mayor and city council of the city of Goldsboro, we express to Joseph our very best wishes for success, happiness, prosperity, and good health in his future endeavors. This resolution shall be incorporated to the official minutes of the city of Goldsboro, and shall be in full force with effect from until after the 17th day of 2020. Joe, congratulations. Thank you very much. He's retired Coast Guard guy, retired from the Coast Guard. His dog was Elvis. and he's been a super K9, and I can't say enough good. Good church member with us.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your service.
All right, next we got the Employee Performance Award by Tim.
Yes, I believe Latoya, our employee of the quarter, is available. Why don't you have a stand at the podium there, Latoya? It's a pleasure working with Latoya every day. Fortunately, I get to do that in the front office, and she's really didn't want to be here up in front of the public, but she's done an excellent job as our public information officer, so I'd like to read you the citation we put together. The Employee of the Quarter Award for fourth quarter fiscal year 1920 has been awarded to Latoya Henry for outstanding achievement. Latoya's performance during this period was excellent and had extensive impact on the city's proper response to COVID-19. She coordinated, prepared, and posted critical federal, state, county, and local information, interviews, and messages on our city website and Facebook pages in a concise and timely manner so that our residents, visitors, council members, and employees were well informed and safe, potentially saving lives. Significant examples include the City of Goldsboro COVID-19 response, information that includes all actions taken by our departments, such as closing and limiting access to facilities, postponing events, changes in operations, and answers to frequently asked questions. Important announcements, such as North Carolina Governor executive orders, mayor, city manager, and police chief messages and interviews. Public utilities warnings and billing information, public works, solid waste operating procedures, and website links to key information updates from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, and Wayne County Health Department. In our battle against this deadly disease, LaToya has been crucial to the city's success by ensuring the proper COVID-19 information and best practices were well prepared for our residents and visitors to follow. LaToya's impact has truly been far-reaching, reflects well upon herself and the city of Goldsboro. Thank you, LaToya.
I feel like you ought to make some kind of speech.
Our public information officer has no comments.
That's just, I don't know about that.
Your most,
That citation?
well, I think enough of you to put that together, so. Well
Thank you
done.
for what you do. Hey, we need to get back, y'all, I'm sorry, on the judges consider, we should have passed that as a resolution, and I don't think we did. So I make a motion that we pass the resolution expressing appreciation to him for his service.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, motion carries. All right, you good? You caught up, Melissa?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Is our supervisor of the quarter out there, Michael Langley? He's not here. But as a reminder, we put a board together to review all this information quarterly. Several employees are forwarded by their department heads with potential to win this award, and then they get a $500 gift in the quarter for their recognizing their performance. So the Supervisor of the Quarter Award goes to Michael Langley for outstanding achievement. Michael Langley distinguished himself by outstanding achievement while seamlessly filling in as the city's cemetery superintendent. Michael flawlessly oversaw normal operations and implemented new initiatives to enhance the city's Willowdale and Elmwood cemeteries. He coordinated 17 funerals, working with local funeral homes to process necessary forms and paperwork, schedule service times, and properly locate all grave sites. He also took it upon himself to develop and implement the city's first digital occupant all grave sites. The digital format will allow cemetery records to be saved on the network in a more legible format and be readily available to everyone needing access to such forms. In addition to utilizing the format for all new requests, he updated and digitized all forms from 2019 to the new format. His goal is to transfer all cemetery documents to a digital format. Michael also took the lead on coordinating efforts to get contractors on site to repair damage to Willowdale Cemetery for recent hurricanes, staying after hours on several occasions to ensure the work was accomplished correctly. He also oversaw the removal of damaged bushes and trees and started removing years of growth to bordering ditches to resolve drainage issues. New flower beds have been installed to enhance areas around the Willowdale office, and he's working with a volunteer group to have new trees and flowers planted to visually enhance other areas at both cemeteries. Michael not only has a vision to improve the overall appearance of cemeteries, but also the knowledge, ability, and determination to make that happen. Michael consistently strives to set the example in professional and leadership. His drive, his determination to exceed expectations is evident in the way our city cemeteries continue to set the standard for appearance. Michael regularly comes up with more efficient ways to manage time and resources to maintain or exceed standards. He takes a lot of pride in his work and owns everything he does, giving his responsibilities no less than 100%. He's a team player who values the opinion of others and doesn't settle for the status quo. Michael's accomplishments reflect well upon himself and the city of Goldsboro. Thank you, Mr. Langley.
Next, we're gonna move to, public comment period.
Mayor, we omitted the resolution for Rama. Do you want me to read that?
Yes, please. Oh, wait.
Well, that goes later.
It's on the next page.
Okay.
Yeah, don't mess me up like that. Yeah, no, he's over on
Okay.
page 2. Okay, so this is our public comment period. Anybody can speak up to 3 minutes on anything they want to that pertains to the city. Does anybody want to speak out there?
Good evening. I hope everyone here tonight will hear me, not just with your ears, but feel what I'm about to say to you all, and I hope you take it to heart. Leadership is extremely important. It determines if a city will ascend or if it will spiral out of control. And I think all of you as city leaders really need to pay attention on the examples that you're setting for our citizens. Number one, we all as citizens have the right to democracy. It's what our country was founded on. And so that means we have the right to speak, we have the right to have an opinion, we have a right to be heard. This room that you sit in, this building that you are in, is the people's house. And Mr. Broadway, you should remember that. That's why you're elected. You do not have the right to restrict anyone's voice. None of you do. It's troubling for you to sit and say that if we come up, you're going to restrict us. That resembles a dictatorship. If you are interested in a dictatorship, I suggest either you don't run again or you relocate to Russia. Leadership is important with how we treat one another. And this is why I'm going to ask Mayor Allen to send a message to myself, to my nieces, to my little female cousins, and other women in this community to show the leadership that I know you are capable of and apologize to Ms. Matthews. It is important. We are celebrating women's rights, being able to finally vote, being able to finally hold office. And it is important. Words matter. And everyone is watching all of you. And I see you all constantly cut her off. You constantly don't want to hear anything that is being brought to the table. Even things Mr. Williams have brought to the table. It's like you all come with a formulated opinion. You will get nothing done acting that way. So you must represent true leadership, that everyone matters. And again, I would like you to please apologize to Ms. Matthews, send a message to our community that you're capable, that we can come together, and that we can move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council. Well, I stand before you for two reasons, and I don't know where you all are, but I know sometimes when a person or people rant and rave about something, or they have a problem with something, some folk tend to let them just keep right on going until they wear themselves out, ignore them, or, just hope that it will go away and nothing will be done, and they still do not address the problem. I just want you to know that this is not one of those times. I'm not going anywhere, which is my main concern for coming. Mayor Allen, it is very apparent that you had nor have any intentions on apologizing for your behavior against Councilwoman Matthews, which happens to be my daughter. I think you feel that one or two things, it's left up to the public to believe that either you don't think you did anything wrong or you just want us to get over it. Because I can remember when Council Williams was falsely accused of something, and you guys, and especially you, Allen, Ham, and Acott, you guys were all over it. You just wouldn't stop, you know? And now I see when this has happened, you all have the shut mouth. Every council member have the shut mouth, and even you, Tim, except for Williams. He's the only one that spoke against us. So I'm here tonight wanting to know, what are you guys planning to do? Something needs to be done about his behavior. Because if what Williams went through, because you said that he created a hostile situation, unpleasant working environment, I don't know what you think we have when Chuck Allen firstly had told my daughter he was getting sick and tired of her, and then he silenced her where she was speaking on behalf of the constituents that she represents in District 4. So now something needs to be done, because you guys seem to think it's going to go away, but it's not. And that's what I want to know. That is my concern, what happens now. And just remember, respect is earned. It's just not simply given. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. How y'all doing today?
Okay.
All right, my name is Kaylon Williams. Can y'all hear me good through the mask?
Sure.
I want to touch on a couple of quick key points because I only got a little while. I can't really talk like this, my lips too big. One of the main things, side note, it's still an issue at West Haven that on Astor Court, that water, the flooding is causing the grass to just decay. Everything around there looks terrible in that area. Mosquitoes just piling up, flies piling up. It's real bad in that area. And then of course, with it being hurricane season, it's only getting worse. So I've talked to the management again and again, and they keep trying to refer me to say that they can't do anything else because their superiors have already talked to the people about it, and that's just what all they can do. With that being said, I have 6 kids that live out there, and I don't have time for my fiance to have to carry all 6 kids down the block in the rain when it's raining every time she gets out the car. That's just not adequate. So I'd appreciate it if you guys could jump on that fairly soon, because I've actually spoken on this probably about a year ago now. Also, very, very, very disheartened lately. Mayor Chuck Allen, I definitely don't appreciate how you've been coming at Brandy at this time of hour and day. Like, the things that's just going on right now between that whole situation is unacceptable. Like, I definitely would appreciate it if you took some time out your day to apologize to her and the rest of the city council and Goldsboro in general, and letting them know that you're not gonna allow yourself to keep doing the things that you're doing. Eye contact is definitely necessary too as well. I noticed that you guys like to look away when certain members of the board have the floor. That is also unacceptable. You feel me? Come on, guys. It's about respect. It's 2020. We're not in the 1950s, 60s, 70s. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys were around when that happened. This what we're doing nowadays, it has to stop. You feel me? It has to stop. And we don't have a big record of any extra police violence and stuff like that around here, and I thank God for that. You feel me? But outside of that, the racial thing is definitely existence. You feel me? It definitely exists. And if you guys keep kind of putting this to a minimal, all it's gonna do is just, like he said, knock on your front door eventually, you know what I mean? The chickens gotta come back to roost, you feel me? Like, they have to. And with that being said, with 14 seconds left, I appreciate you guys on the job that you're doing, Councilman Antonio Williams, Commissioner-elect. I can't wait till that actually happens, and I appreciate you and doing what you're doing. Brandy, thank you, and thank you. Taj, I need you to tighten up too, you know what I mean?
Before you leave, I'm gonna see if our city manager, we can find out when we're gonna have mosquito spraying, not just for your community, but for all the communities. I know we do it pretty much every year. And as far as the flooding's concerned over there, we actually had somebody go out there a year ago. The drains weren't flooded.
Yeah, I saw that.
They weren't
It came out.
clogged. So we're gonna see if we get somebody else from the city to go. And what area is that? What block is that?
Astor Court is literally right in front of 115, which happens to be my kid's place of residence. So when they came out, they did the job, and it was done in a matter of moments, maybe an hour or two. So for it to happen again and then nothing else after that, it kind of boggled my mind. Like, that means y'all can fix it, and it's not. It's just. At this point, it's just stomped up.
With the city, or are you calling somebody with the housing authority?
It's city because the housing authority said they can't do anything about it because the city owns the street.
Okay, so you're calling somebody with the city?
Well, you should have called me. Don't worry, we'll take care of that. And I apologize for that. You know, anytime there's flooding, make sure you call us.
No problem.
All right?
Gotcha. Other than that, I just like to say thank you guys. Y'all have a blessed day and continue to make Goldsboro better. Y'all tighten up on them funds, man.
And before you leave, in response to your comment, you know where I live, you can contact me anytime. And I want to know if you got a response back from, I don't know if it was November, and in reference to your question about the naming of the noose. Did you ever get
No, I never.
I did the research on it, so just to fill you in on it, I was a scout leader, and the Nusiop Indians is what it referenced to. They morphed into what's called the Tuscarora Council. So I just wanted to give you an answer to your previous comment. So the word is like, Nusiop. I'm assuming you alluding it was like what is a homonym, like the word sea that you see with your eyes and sea like the ocean. And it didn't really have any reference to a noose like a noose around the neck. I just want to give you that history lesson. So I wanted to fill you in on it.
Okay, I definitely appreciate that because that was necessary. I still feel like maybe we should name it Nusiop after the Indians instead of just short for noose, because that kind of still
But it's spelled two different ways. One is N-O-O-S-E, so
yeah, I get it. I get it.
Like
C. Yeah. With that being said, also real fast, I do remember you speaking on some things happening in your neighborhood as far as the music goes. I definitely was disappointed with you that night because I was there and we were in the middle of shooting a music video. And these are things that is part of our history. You know what I mean? Hip hop is a culture. It's things that we do as our history. So I do feel like you should have handled that a lot better as being city councilman. It's not like with you being, you knowing us. You feel me? This is us that we talking about. And so with that being said, come out, speak on the noise level. But I feel like you should have done that with a lot better, with better than you did. You feel me? You should have handled that better than you did because it's us. You feel what I'm saying?
Well,
and therefore,
in reference to what you're saying, at the time, it was 1:30 in the morning. There's a noise ordinance. Had it been presented to me in advance, you have a community of residential, and that's been addressed. The actual owner of that property was doing something illegal, which that has been handled from a city planning standpoint. And like I said, it's easy to refer to something when it's not in your backyard. My neighbors for weeks this is not the first time.
All right,
I could see if this was.
I get it, TP, I get it. But if we're gonna talk about illegal, let's start with your council right here, bro.
That's true.
Don't jump to the street. And what we're doing is stop us from doing something productive. Because whether it's 1:30 in the morning or 2:30 in the morning, we're being productive as black men and women. We're doing something great. We're not doing anything rowdy. Yes, somebody might have got out of hand. I'm not saying you was wrong for that, but that's one person. Don't shut the whole situation down for that. But if you're gonna talk on illegal, let's get at your mayor first, you feel me?
So as a homeowner, is it my right not to have a restful environment? I understand what you're saying, but I can't go into a neighborhood and do things at all times of night.
Issues, Councilman.
Yes, sir, we can talk.
We got bigger issues.
you. Okay, well, that will close the public comment period and move to consent agenda.
Consent agenda items E through M, with the exception of L, are presented for council approval.
Is there a motion for
I'll make
approval?
a motion that we adopt.
Second.
All right, roll call?
Mayor Allen,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Pro Tem Brockway.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
Councilmember Poland.
Yes.
Councilmember Matthews.
Yes.
Councilmember Hand.
Yes.
Councilmember Aycock.
Yes. All right, the consent agenda is approved. Next, we got items requiring individual action. We have none. City manager's report.
I'd just like to mention to our citizens that the strategic plan is now available online. You can find it on our website. It's an organizational plan to continually improve the effectiveness and efficiency of city government services for our residents and visitors. Plan focuses on the 5 city goals established by council and develops targets for performance. The online dashboard provides transparency of how the city fares on each measure, specifying whether efforts are on target, close to target, or need improvement. If you have questions on this plan, please contact the Assistant City Manager, Octavius Murphy, who's also our strategic plan coordinator, and we can take a look at your input and add it to the plan if appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we got the mayor and council members' reports and recommendations. First, we got as a resolution express appreciation by James Lewis and Councilmember Williams. You're going to read that?
Yes. Whereas James Lewis retired on August 1st, 2020 as a solid waste technician with the Public Works Department of the City of Goldsboro with more than 30 years of service, and whereas James began his career on October 30th, 1989 as a laborer too with Public Works Department, and whereas on July 1st, 2016, James' position was changed to solid waste technician with the Public Works Department, where he has served until his retirement, and whereas James has proven himself to be dedicated and efficient public servant who has gained the admiration and respect of his fellow workers and the citizens of the city of Goldsboro, and whereas the mayor, city council of the city of Goldsboro are desirous on behalf of themselves, city employees, and the citizens of the city of Goldsboro of expressing to James Lewis their deep appreciation and gratitude for the service rendered by him to the city over the years. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and city council of the city of Goldsboro, North Carolina, that we express to James our very best wishes for success, happiness, prosperity, and good health in his future endeavors. This resolution shall be incorporated into the official minutes of the city of Goldsboro and shall be in full force and effect from and after the 17th day of August, 2020.
Can you make that as a motion?
I make a motion that we approve resolution number 2020-47.
Second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Resolution passes. The next one is resolution of appreciation to Rama Chitla. And Taj is going to do that for us.
Resolution number 2020-48, resolution expressing appreciation for services rendered by Rama Chatilla as an employee of the city of Goldsboro for more than 35 years. Whereas Rama Chatilla retired on August 1st, 2020 as a civil engineer 2 with the engineering department of the city of Goldsboro with more than 35 years of service. And whereas Rama began his career on June 24th, 1985 as a civil engineer 1 with the engineering department. And whereas on July 1st, 1987, Rama was promoted to a civil engineer 2 with the engineering department where he had served until his retirement. And whereas Rama has proven himself to be a dedicated and efficient public servant who has gained the admiration and respect of his fellow workers and the citizens of the city of Goldsboro. And whereas the mayor and the city council of the city of Goldsboro are desirous on behalf of themselves, city employees, and the citizens of the city of Goldsboro of expressing to Rama Chatilla their deep appreciation and gratitude for the service rendered to him to the city over the years. Now, therefore be resolved by the mayor and the city council of the city of Goldsboro, North Carolina, that we express to Rama our very best wishes for success, happiness, prosperity, and good health in his future endeavors. This resolution shall be incorporated into the official minutes of the city of Goldsboro and shall be in full force and effect from and after the 17th day of August 2020. I make a motion that we approve the resolution expressing appreciation for Rama Chatila as an employee of the city of Goldsboro.
Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Resolution passes. We've got one more, item P. I'm not going to read it because I already had given it to her earlier in the week. She had a little party downstairs. But Kelly Best has retired as an employee from the planning department, and she's been here more than 23 years. So I'd just like to offer a motion to pass the resolution to Kelly as an employee of the city of Goldsboro for more than 23 years.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, that passes. All right, I think that we just got council member comments. Councilman Raycott? No comment? Councilmember Ham?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I want to mention that we're all aware there's a national wave of anti-police protest throughout our nation. Some larger cities that we hear about every day that is occurring destruction, loss of life, et cetera, et cetera. We're also seeing city boards and commissions voting to cut funding and defunding police departments. We're also seeing police chiefs and members of police departments resigning or quitting outright because of the lack of support they're getting. In view of that, I want to commend the leadership and members of the Goldsboro Police Department on their continued dedication to the profession and to the citizens of Goldsboro for their daily coming to work, doing their duties, and providing the services and protection that the citizens of Goldsboro expect. Thank you.
Ms. Matthews?
Thank you, Mayor Allen. The first thing is I received a letter from a resident. They didn't put a name or anything, but I just want you to know publicly that I received your letter, and I will begin working on this, and hopefully we can start seeing some improvements in those areas of interest that you mentioned in your letter. So thank you for reaching out to me, and hopefully we can get some leverage on this. The second thing is I want to go on record just saying how proud I am of my mom, because would you believe that she has been targeted, attacked, criticized, and talked about on public platforms, even including our own city site, for one, using her voice and her right to stand up for what she thinks is necessary and the change that's needed in Goldsboro and the change that's needed right here on this council. And I'm even more proud of her because everything that she's been through since I've been elected, most people would have quit and it would have silenced most people. But I'm so proud of that resilience that she has, and I'm even more proud that she passed it down to me. So, with that being said, I was elected to this board, and when I came on, I already knew that the majority of you didn't like me. That didn't stop me then, and it is not going to stop me now. Silence from the majority of this board is disappointing, and it continues to prove that certain member has more loyalty to the mayor than they do to the citizens and their concerns in Goldsboro. If we can't even govern ourselves and hold ourselves accountable, how can we hold accountability for our districts and for an entire city? Let me read this quote from a current seated council member from last year. "It is my belief that we cannot just ignore these actions," that council member went on to say. "His behavior was an embarrassment." Councilmember Ham, those were your words as it related to Councilman Williams. So I want to ask you, how do you feel about the mayor's behavior? Because here we are, ignoring the embarrassment from our mayor and his behavior towards me, one, as a woman, and two, as an elected official. Have you even heard the residents? We had 3 more residents come up today to talk about how they felt about the mayor's behavior. and how he disrespected me publicly, not once, not twice, but throughout an entire budget meeting. So I'm going to ask each individual member of this council, one by one, how they feel about it and what we should do to hold the mayor accountable, just as I watched this board hold Councilmember Williams accountable last year. Councilmember Aycock, what is your recommendation?
I have none.
Councilmember Ham, what is your recommendation?
No comment.
Councilmember Polak, what is your recommendation?
I feel that you were doing wrong, you were disregarded at that time, and that you were basically censored before you were quiet, before you finished what you had to say.
Thank you, Councilmember Polak. Councilmember Broadway, what is your recommendation?
Well, on my first day, I take offense to being charged with things we didn't actually do. The second thing, I don't think what the mayor did was intentional. And if it was intentional, then he probably owes you an apology. I'm sitting right here, and I don't think it was intentional. I think he thought you were finished. Other than that, I've been on this board over 10 years. I've seen this board operate, and I think we need to respect each other and quit trying to divide this board. Those are my comments.
Councilmember Williams, do you have a recommendation?
I feel that when someone is censored, it's, you know, what you reap is what you sow. And I think when they censored you, I think the mayor should be censored. I think we should have a censor hearing. You know, and this has nothing to do with what happened to me, but it's about accountability. If you hold any other council member here accountable for something, all should be held to the same standards. So I make a motion that we censor the mayor on his actions toward Ms. Matthews.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed likewise. Motion fails.
So Mayor Allen, I'll ask you, you've got the floor and you have the opportunity to right your wrong right now, just as you've been asked by me.
Don't do anything wrong. And I think if you went back and looked at the tape, you would see that I gave you the opportunity to go ahead and speak. You elected to get up and leave, okay? So you go back and look at the tape, and then you tell me what I did wrong, and then I'll be glad to talk to you. This is a you and I thing, and if you want to fix it, you come talk to me, or I'll come talk to you, and I'll be glad to work through it with you. But I'm not going to be, you attacking me, that's not going to help you. Those people attacking me, that's just going to push me and get me madder. So that's not going to help you.
Mayor Allen, you have not been attacked. You are being held accountable the same way I watched you personally hold others accountable for their behavior. You banged your gavel while I was talking. That was intentional. And then you went on to insult me to say, go ahead, talk. The meeting was over. You adjourned it, Mayor Allen. And you have an opportunity right now to make it right. There's been a petition signed. The residents are saying it is unacceptable. I'm saying it's unacceptable because it is.
Okay.
And I come in here every other Monday, ready, willing, and able to work with each of you, despite your attacks on and off record that you think that some don't even know about. Because that's what I was elected to do. How do you not hold your own self accountable? When I received an email from you just recently talking about chaos in the organization, you have created chaos in this organization, and it is a stumbling block.
Well, you're welcome to your opinion. I know a lot of people that think I've done a good job, so there's just different opinions all around, huh?
And that type of response is exactly part of the problem. So thank you, Mayor Allen, for your comments. Thank you, Goldsboro, for watching. And again, to that resident, I wish I knew who you were, but I'm going to get working on your issue, and hopefully you'll see some provisions soon. Thank you.
Councilman Pollock?
Yes, I just want to encourage all parents of students returning back to school to hold your kids accountable for the recommendations set forth in the classrooms. I've heard many individuals say that children are less likely to illness, but there are two sides to the coin. The other side of the coin is that the instructor or the educator may not be as resistant to the illness. Many of the instructors' rooms have not been adequately sterilized or even given adequate resources to protect or clean classrooms daily. I would like to end by thanking all the first responders as well as the essential employees that have continued to make our day-to-day operations transition smoothly. And last but not least, I want all my constituents to know that I will go down to stand on facts and not speculation. Whether I'm being confronted by things that aren't accurate, I just want you to know that I speak for the voice of my community. Thank you.
Councilman Broadway?
I've just got one thing is, so far, we are doing fairly well with our COVID, with our stats and our hospitalizations. However, Sunday afternoon, I drove by Stony Creek Park in the shelter there, and I saw 30 to 40 people gathering around in that shelter. Not a single one had a mask on. And I don't know what people are thinking, but we got to wear masks. We got to keep social distance. It's the only way we're going to protect this community. We're doing pretty well, but we don't need people totally uncooperating. It's not fair. That's my comment, sir.
Okay. Councilman Williams?
Okay. I want to thank all of our educational field workers. I know the adjustment hasn't been easy, but you're going to make it work. To the young people, I know it's hard on you. I've never experienced that going to school. But stay encouraged and take your lemons and turn them into lemonade. August is Black Business Month, and although a lot of businesses are struggling, if you look at the data, Black businesses are struggling at a higher rate. So please support your Black businesses, anyone that you can. I want to thank ABC 11 for coming to Goldsboro to highlight some of our Black businesses. My condolences to the Darton family for their loss. And also I want to say thank you to one of the great pioneers of the civil rights movement, John Lewis, who started his fight for the betterment of people at the age of 19 years old. And his words of Representative John Lewis, may we all find good trouble to get into to continue the fight for all citizens' rights. And that's all I have. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I have just one thing. I just want to commend our public works folks and our planning folks. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I hope you have. The last 2 or 3 weeks, they've been going all over town getting weeded lots mowed or overgrown lots mowed. They've been mowing sidewalks where the stuff's hanging over the sidewalks, ditches. But they've really, looks like they've stepped up what they're doing. And so I just want to commend them, Tim, if you would. And with that, we stand adjourned. Thank you.